Revelation 11, 1, 14. God's witnesses and the power of faith. Picture a time of chaos, confusion, and spiritual crisis. This is where Revelation 11, 1, 14 unfolds. In the middle of darkness, God sends two witnesses to proclaim his truth. But who are they? And what can this profound passage teach us about standing firm in faith today? In the first verses, John is given a measuring rod to measure the temple of God. Why measure? It's a reminder. God is sovereign and his dwelling place is protected. The act symbolizes God's control over his people and his plan, even amid turmoil. Have we allowed him to measure our hearts? The two witnesses stand boldly as representatives of Christ. Dressed in sackcloth, they preach repentance, unwavering in their mission despite opposition. Their story demonstrates the power of being faithful messengers, even when the world resists. Who or what reminds you to stand firm in your faith, even when faced with adversity? These witnesses aren't powerless. With God's authority, they perform miracles and declare his truth. Though their mission comes with suffering, they endure. Knowing they're part of a larger purpose, we too can trust that God empowers and sustains us in the trials we encounter. Are you surrendering your strength to him? Just as their work seems unstoppable, the story takes a chilling turn. The beast rises and slays the witnesses, and for 3.5 days their bodies lie lifeless in the streets, celebrated by their enemies. Yet their death reminds us, sometimes renewal and victory come through apparent defeat. Then comes the turning point. God breathes life into the witnesses, and they rise in triumphant resurrection. Their story echoes Christ's, reminding us that death is never the end for those who belong to him. In their ascension, we see God's ultimate victory over sin, death, and evil forces. Revelation 11, 1, 14 reminds us that God calls each of us to be witnesses, to live boldly and proclaim his truth even in difficulty. Remember, standing for God's light isn't easy, but his promises sustain us. How can you reflect his glory in your words and deeds today? God has placed a calling on your life, just as he called the two witnesses. Take a step of faith today, whether it's sharing hope with someone, deepening your prayer life, or standing firm in your beliefs. Join the conversation in the comments about how you're answering God's call. Let's build faith together.